So you have to excuse my hair. This is what happens when you cut your own hair. Like with me, I try to cut it a little bit, and it's not even. It's a little longer on this side than this side. I'll try to fix it tomorrow. But anyway, because I didn't have time to fix it today, I got so many things I got to take care of. But anyway, I want to talk about something that I thought about today, and I saw these studies a long time ago, like years ago, and I couldn't find them. I tried Google for like 20 minutes, all different ways to search for this, but I couldn't find it. But I remember seeing a study in New Zealand, and there was another one in Denmark, where women, on average, as a whole, take more from a socialized type of system, an egalitarian type of system, like a welfare system. They take more in services than they pay in taxes. Now, obviously, it depends on the individual. Some individuals pay more, some people don't pay as much, but they're using the services. But on the average, women benefit, or net beneficiaries of these systems. They get more in services than they pay in taxes. Now, like I said, on average. And on average, men pay more in taxes than they get in benefits from the system. Now, I don't know if that includes military and police, in other words, security. If it does, then obviously men contribute a lot more, and women are net beneficiaries of having security coming from the government. And my first thought is, well, of course, obviously men, are expected to do more. But I also thought, from a moral standpoint, that these systems shouldn't exist. Now, obviously, you need a police and a military system to protect the country, to protect individual rights, so that people can do what they have to do in order to exist, to live as a human being, to progress, to be productive. Because if you are constantly having to worry about your security, you're not going to be as productive, right? You're not going to be able to be creative. You're not going to be able to produce. So and I'm thinking just how immoral, not just immoral, how evil that system is. Imagine women, especially, you get these modern feminists that demand more and more and more and more. And you live in Europe, right? Especially Europe, or in Canada or New Zealand, or one of these countries that are particularly egalitarian. And they demand all these things, all right? They're demanding, well, they want, men to do this, men to do that. And then they complain, well, men are not this, men are not that. Just how immoral, just how evil such a system is. Imagine having no choice. I mean, you have to pay taxes, or you get incarcerated. They put you in jail if you don't pay taxes. And these men are just living and doing whatever they need to do, and are paying into a system that many of which probably didn't vote for, mind you. People who vote for such a system are young people who haven't lived in the world that much, or women also, and are immigrants. The native male population of these countries probably did not vote for this system. It was hoodwinked. It was, you get people who market this stuff and say, well, women have to vote. Ever since women started voting, you get these egalitarian systems that women, on average, are net beneficiaries of. It's wrong. And you have to change the philosophy, but also, from a political standpoint, it goes to show that not everybody should be voting. Okay, you're gonna have to do an overhaul of these systems, and that means changing the philosophy. That means changing what goes on in these universities, the people who then teach other people how to then teach people in public education, what goes on in entertainment and media, and what goes on in politicians' minds. Of course, politicians, they want more power a lot of times. A lot of these people do. I mean, you see this everywhere. But it means, first of all, you got to change the philosophy, and you got to change the education system. People have to actually think rationally and understand that what they do have consequences. And the political discussion, which is shifting, by the way, and it is in some ways shifting in the right direction, in some ways it's not. But we have to actually have a discussion where we discuss how evil an egalitarian system is, and it's destroying, in part, destroying family formation, but it's also evil because you're essentially pointing a gun at someone's head and saying that you have to give up a portion of your income to people who are, in many ways, are not grateful. And, it makes sense that they wouldn't be grateful, right? Why would you be grateful for something you didn't earn? So it's evil. It needs to be discussed, and it also needs to be dismantled.